the conversation has come up with in our groups for weeks now about how we create through our attention, and the cosmic law of attraction is very much in people's awareness, but it's a majority of the focus is on the light, on the thought, on the design of what we're choosing to create. But there has been much less conversation of how it gets from light into the actual form. So the two things that I'm addressing here is one, that we're starting out with the light design, and then it is brought into form through transformational divine love. And it is done so through the assistance of the elemental realms. So they co-create with us at all times, whether we're aware of it or not. Oh, okay, come on. There we go. So my question is, do you ever wonder at the magical presences that are the creative forces of our universe? In our busy day-to-day lives, we zoom about and may not ever really pause to wonder at the trees, at the ocean, at the flowers, at everything that has been created. What actually creates that force on the unseen realms that bring the elements into form and fulfill a particular design? So this is the part of the conversation that is coming up for a greater discussion now. What we think about and focus about on with feeling is what we create. So in the movie The Secret quite a while ago, and some of these other things, it was all about what you think about, what you think about. There wasn't the conversation of the action of the feelings that actually bring that thought design into tangible manifestation through the magnetic presence of the universe, which is the divine feminine. It is that magnetic presence that bridges the things into form. So thought and idea are part of the divine mind or light. The elemental overlighting assists as the creators, co-creators with us, working with the energies. And then we create together the manifested form through divine love and the use of the magnetic energies. The universal builders of form, as we have mentioned, are the Elohim, which are the highest level of the elemental realms, working with designs directly from the Godhead. And you can see in different writings, including in the Bible, how they are referred to as the builders of form, and did overlight and create with the assistance of God and the divine love energy, all of the planets, the universe, the galaxies. All of these things were overseen by the Elohim, using divine mind, the light, and divine love to bring them into form. Pan and the nature spirits are the other big grouping of the elemental realms, and consist of the overlighting divas of systems whom you can connect as part of your creation process. The overlighting divas of systems include the education system, the agricultural system, the medical systems, government systems, these ecological systems, these major systems of creation are all have overlighting divas who help to take the pieces of the divine blueprints, which all of us on higher levels had been a part of creating, and bringing them in through the tangible outcome, which is again done through the magnetism of divine love. Overlighting divas are also work with us on any kind of project, no matter how big it is or how small it is. We also, as we mentioned earlier, have body elementals of our human bodies, and the elementals inhabit the bodies of many of the animals, which is why when we called in the elementals earlier, we referred to the major animal groups, which are the big animal kingdoms, and then the lesser, in which case we were referring to like the bacteria and the smaller microbes, which are still part of the animal kingdom. So when you're working with the body elements and working with your own health and well-being and wanting to know what is best for you to create the greatest outcome of your body and your health, you work with your body elemental. Also, there are overlighting divas and fairies of the plants and all other creations. And you may have seen over the years pictures of beautiful fairies whirling energy around and creating flowers or creating different kinds of crystals and different types of things. This is this process of taking the divine blueprint and magnetizing the elements into the form. And you may, as a person, when you're working on things, you find yourself whirling your hands and working with the energies. It's the same idea. But what this is for you to be aware that when we are creating a design and then calling it into form, that we are a very important part of that as part of the divine love bridge, and the elementals are always pairing with us, whether you're aware of it or not. The last grouping is the elemental spirits, the element spirits and their elementals, which we called in through the directions. Again, the air and the silts, the water and the undines, the fire and the salamanders, and the earth and the gnomes. So these are all specific groups of the elementals that you, as you become a conscious creator, you can call in and request the presence of these different groups and have conversations with them about the process so that you can bring the highest outcome of what it is you're creating into form. So this is a photograph that I took in Mount Shasta that I wanted to share with you that shows a fairy in the water here, and you can see her singing, and the energy of blue, which is the ray of will and power, coming into the water. And so she was actively working with the water that day and creating a new frequency in the water, and she allowed me to take her photograph. So I hope you can all see her there. Now this morning I woke up because I thought a little bit too serious and too science-based. So the elementals came in and they gave me this little story to that's a little bit lighter to bring this whole process into your awareness. So I'll just read this to you. A thought is created and focused upon, drawing to it the creative assistance from the elemental realms. Dependent upon the design, the mighty Elohim or Pan and the nature spirits are called. The focus energy is then acted upon through feelings of love, gratitude, harmony, balance, and joy, magnetizing the necessary elements into the design to bring it into form. So then you're seeing that energy coming in. The elementals weave the light into love that is form, always calling for its immaculate concept of light into love to be born. Focus, feeling, and faith are required, along with gratitude, to come from the one or ones who intend for the idea to be born. Humans have long thought this process for them to be done alone, but all along the elementals and angels are serving as God's helpers for life in its immaculate concept to be born. Whether a simple idea or desire or the design of a new planet or galaxy, the mighty Elohim or Pan and the nature spirits' first steps are light-based, divine power, illumined faith, and God's first cause of perfection. From there, the elementals weave in divine love, will, purity, and wisdom, and more as the qualities of the rainbows are woven into form. Divine love and will, being the magnetization process, attract the elements into cosmic patterns that result in the desired forms. The key is to keep the focus, faith, and clarity of purpose while being in peace, harmony, and joy at its creation. Your co-creation with the elementals and divine love will form the light design into physicality, tangible form, into life. This is how creations are born. Always remember that doubt will undermine it all. So say thank you at the onset of the creative process and keep your focus on the design already being in form. Most important is for you to stay in your heart and allow the divine alchemy of love to do its part. Love-based magic is always at play when you embrace light and love-based creation each and every day. So that's the story that they gave me to share with you, and I hope that that helps to bring it into a more playful energy of how it flows, because the universe, as we know, working with decrees and these things that we've done for years, really is very rhythmic and has these patterns and energies that flow, and it really is a dance and a song. The way the universe sings, literally sings things into being. So this is very common for the realms to speak with us in these rhythmical kinds of forms.
Emmaray,
So,
thank you.
yes.
Would you please talk about this picture?
Yes, yes. So as we are more deeply aware of the consciousness, that consciousness is way more than what we have seen on the third dimension form. You know, this dimension, it's been very dense, and so many things, including the awareness of God consciousness in everything, absolutely everything, has been lost, but is now coming back in the knowing. And this picture I took up in Mount Shasta at Castle Lake quite a few years ago. I was hiking up there in the early spring, so there was a lot of ice on the lake still. And one of the things that part of my elemental presence and awareness of these multidimensional families is I sing to them when I'm out, and I sing to the water, and I sing gratitude songs. And I was doing this particular day, and as I did, this heart formed on the water, and it was about 3 feet across, and the water just gave way and came into this heart form, and it stayed there for at least half an hour. And so I was able to take these photographs. So what this is sharing of is the responsive nature of the universe, that all life has consciousness. Mm-hmm. And what in the I Am teachings, those of you who are familiar with Saint Germain and the I Am school, he came in and said there are 3 levels of I Am. The now I'm gonna forget them. So the impersonal I and the individualized I Am is us. And then there's Mother, Father, God. And then there is the impersonal I Am, which is the responsive nature of the universe. So in this picture, we are seeing that whatever we send out energetically, be it love, be it joy, be it anger or pain, these forces of nature will respond to that. And it's very important in our creative process to understand this. And again, coming back into the energy of what we focus on, we create through our feelings. So all of this effort on the planet now for people to come into their peace center, meditating, choosing to be in peace, so that as we are making calls for corrections and creations, we are doing so from a place where divine love can come through and emanate through us. So this just talks more about all of the elements being part of the responsive nature of the creation. and they literally they will respond to the energy that we put out. So when we are seeing information about the earth changes or these big storms and things, and people are talking more about the storms being a response to the morphogenic fields of energy that humanity has created through our discord, and it is the element response to rebalance the energies by kicking up these big storms or having these different things happen. This is the response to our discord that has to happen to bring things into balance. So by coming into balance, as we are consciously creating now, calling in the elementals to work with us, and to always know that doing it through love is the way to create the immaculate concept of the design that you are choosing to create, and how important this is. So this is a reflective action. And some people will talk about things being a mirror. Oh, it's a mirror. That's being a mirror of me. What does that really mean? It means that something inside of you is emanating an energy that is being then shown to you so that you can become aware of it and either embody it or clear it and rebalance it. So that's the reflective nature and the responsiveness of the I am. Does anybody have any questions before I continue? No? No questions?
Good teaching. Continue.
Okay, so the elemental realms prefer to only serve in divine love. But in the state of discord that we have been in, many have been forced into what are referred to as miscreations during this illusionary time. Some of these have occurred through each and every one of us when we are in a state of imbalance and we create a ripple by sending out energy of discord. And the elements are forced to respond to that and become a part of it and emanate it out further. There are also those on the planet who are now leaving and being returned to the light who have intentionally been forcing the elements to do things against their will and creating massive miscreations. So as we, as creative beings and co-creating with the elementals, understanding that they too are sovereign, they too have choice, and that we come in a place of harmony and mutual respect to do these co-creative processes. They are not in service to us, they are in service with us, and to hold the space of honor between all of our realms. So the understanding of the magnetic force and responsive nature of divine love and the impersonal I am, along with having the awareness that the elemental realms play an intricate role in our creations, allows us to co-create in God consciousness and in alignment with the divine plan and a reverence for all of life. And as you all know, and those who are listening to our work, realize that we are always saying that in our calls in, we are always saying in alignment with the divine plan and cosmic law. So that is an active intention and a reverence for all life. So when we are doing that, we are operating in a state of harmony, which is a very strong energy of the divine love magnetic energies. We have the love, we have harmony, which is the magenta, we have joy, which is the peach ray, and then the illumined and eternal peace is in the ruby gold. So we have those are all part of the love expression. So I brought this picture up because the next part of this is really talking about the different rays, solar rays, which I'm not really sure we have time to do today. But this photograph I took this on Christmas morning while I was driving up to the ski resort in Mount Shasta, where I was working at the time. And Saint Germain, Merlin, came out, and it was about 7 o'clock in the morning. And I had never in the 15 years I lived in Mount Shasta seen these colors expressed the way they were on this day. The gold, the pink, the purple, the colors of the trifold flames of our heart, very clearly being shared across the mountain. And then this figure of Merlin here coming up and spreading his cape.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I see.
And acknowledging the day and the presence of the Christ in that moment in the mountain. So very powerful energy. And it is, again, a reminder that these interdimensional presences are always with us, absolutely always with us. And the more we acknowledge them from our hearts with the intention of creating with the reverence for all life, the more that it will raise our frequency and we will be able to see them directly or indirectly, hear them with our senses, and become the conscious creators of the divine plan, which is being presented to us now to bring to earth. It is the divine plan is completely set in the causal planes, and it is now time that we are bringing it into form on the planet, and all of us are playing a part of that. So the rest of this is just talking about the rays, and again, I think it might be
that's another program.
Yeah, it's a little bit, so I wanted to include it in this so it'll be available on our website, but it's not necessary for us to talk about it today. I know Janet's going to be doing some work with some of the rays, but the main thing here is when you're thinking of whether it's you or you're working with children and you're talking about creating something into form, you can always use the rainbow as an example of how the rain, it arcs and comes into the earth. And this is the bridge between the etheric realms and the physical realms. And each one of the colors of the rainbow have a job to do. They have a certain function through their frequencies that they help bring these ideas and the light into the tangible reality that we see and feel with our bodies. So those are the main things. Just be aware that we are always creating, always, always, always. And the more we want to get involved with divine alchemy, where you're actively working with these interdimensional energies to, and again, the elemental realms to create these magical things on earth, the more fun it's going to become and the more successful we will be in bringing the divine plan in its immaculate concept form into being here. So thank you.
Woohoo! Thank